Hey everybody, welcome back to Cookie Gaming. Today we're playing some more Disco Elysium. Now last time we found out a little bit more about our background, and we talked to some fellas who told us they were trying to set up a club in this old church. Now we found out they were being a little dishonest about their intentions. However, we heard about some strange goings-on within the church in front of us, and so we're going to be investigating that today. By the way, this is episode 20. How about that? Series has been going on for quite a while at this point. I have been very much enjoying it, so thank you to everyone who's been tagging along. Alrighty. Dusty pews in the shadows. Yeah, we heard some strange, sort of supernatural stories about a woman in this church and a potential crab man. I mean, we were hearing some strange stuff. So I want to see what's really going on. An altar shrouded in dark. Or something like that. Okay, great. Oh my. Oh, and I was also thinking, I want to take... I don't have many slots left. I want to take Searchlight Division. Because I just felt like a lot of my character has really been about searching, finding people. I played a very curious character here, which sort of represents me in real life. So I felt like that was a good thought to take. I know we're really running low on slots. I don't want to miss out on any thoughts that might come later in the game, but I felt like a good one to take. New skill point. Well, would you look at that? New skill point to replace the one we just used. Alrighty, let's go in.
Heavy wooden doors, more than twice your height, stand shut in front of you. The rectangular sea-worn ornamentation appears in stark contrast to the padlock, carelessly drilled into the wood.
Right, we got the key from the fellows we talked to. Let's look at the carpentry first.
The carving on the door is block-like and angular, like the church itself. Two large beams shoot downwards, sinking into the wood before they reach the threshold.
For once we don't have to kick the door down because we actually have the key. Let's run our hand over the beam.
The surface is smooth from the wind, but moist to the touch.
Okay, let's take a look at that padlock.
This cheap-looking padlock is sturdily built. It shackles together a hasp and a staple screwed into the wooden door. The lock is adorned with a yellow sticker.
Okay, what's the sticker?
You see a yellow circle with two X's and a big curve below them that looks like a mouth. You're pretty sure you haven't seen it before, but what the symbol depicts is clear enough. A smiling dead guy.
Nice.
The curve makes it smile, and the X's make it dead. There is something blindingly modern about this symbol. Its modernness puts to shame everything you've seen before.
Have you seen this symbol before?
He takes off his glasses and uses a blue handkerchief to thoroughly wipe them clean before inspecting the sticker. Then he looks up, pauses, and replies.
No.
Now, what's it look like to you?
Looks like a dead man smiling. Suggests junior delinquency.
Yeah, Kim has not been super enthused about these fellows we met last time. Now, to be fair, I talked to them. We found out that instead of setting up a club, it was really sort of a front for a drug lab. And I'm not interested in helping them set that up, both as a recovering alcoholic, my character is, I mean, and as a cop, right? I'm not interested in that. But I wouldn't mind helping them set up a club. In fact, I think it's a pretty good idea. But the stuff, that is definitely junior delinquency. But we'll have Kim tell us, what is junior delinquency?
For Revachol ZOC, the moral intern defines junior delinquents as minors between the ages of 10 and 16 who have committed an act in violation of the law. These acts aren't called crimes as they would be for adults. Crimes committed by minors are called delinquent acts. This was part of your officer's exams.
Yeah, I don't remember much of that, Kim. So what is suggestive of junior delinquency here?
I haven't seen that sticker before, and I'm not a youth.
I agree. It's very modern. But does the cheery guy not know he's dead, or does the dead guy not care that he is? What is the source of the irony here?
That level of conceptual thinking is not part of my skill set.
I have the option to take off the sticker. Okay. I don't know if I really want it, but might as well try.
Your hands are clammy
Uh-oh.
from the sea air. The piece of sticker keeps slipping away.
Man. That was a pretty easy check and I failed. Bad way to start. Kim, can I borrow your handkerchief?
The lieutenant hands you a blue handkerchief. He looks a little dismayed when he gets it back crumpled. However, it should be easier to peel the sticker off now.
Sorry, Kim, but I'm taking this damn sticker.
There's nothing like the sound of a sticker unpeeling. Now it's stuck to your thumb.
Oh, interesting. Ooh. I mean, I don't really want it on the ledger, but it seems like it'd be appropriate in the ledger after the last entry.
Looks like today was a gold star day.
Secret task complete. How about that? I always love getting these. That's funny. Alright, let's open the padlock.
The lock turns easily. You hear a click as the shackle pops open.
We've sort of messed around enough out here. We're gonna have to go in and face whatever's in there.
Let's go.
I'm sort of stalling.
A great whoosh of air rushes into the dark innards of the church, as though rushing to fill a great vacuum. In the heart of the city.
Alrighty. Where am I? Wow. It's quite a zoom in, eh? Strange stillness fills you as you look ahead. You should walk here, not run. Okay. I won't run. I'll take that advice. Okay. Grotesque wooden figure looks half finished. This seems like a... Got my flashlight with me. There we go. Oh, that actually helps a lot. That actually helps a lot. Oh. That thought disappeared. More of the forked lightning pattern you saw outside. Huh. Dude, the music's going hard in here. That initial purple thoughts made me paranoid. The don't run but walk. I'm like, okay, I won't run. Complex equations. What the hell is going on in here? Like a big broken stained glass window. Oh right, yeah, the idiots we talked to last time talked about this.
The silence in this part of the church, it's almost palpable. All the shifting matter and shuffling of living things is gone. Nothing seems to exist beyond the church anymore. Maybe if you were to stand in just the right spot, even your footsteps would be completely silent.
Wait, I think I still hear something.
And then it's gone. Almost all of it, but for the faintest of hums. You can hardly hear your own breathing.
Okay, so I have to make some noise. Stomp my feet and clap my hands.
You produce a few muffled thumps, after which the silence feels even more total.
Okay, I'm convinced. There is something supernatural going on here.
Your voice is barely audible. Not a howl, but the softest of whimpers.
Calling noise suppression. Kim, what's happening?
The lieutenant points to his ears and shakes his head. Then he leans closer.
Can't hear me.
Can you hear anything?
Almost nothing, and it's beginning to really worry me.
The church just has strange acoustics, some engineering trick.
No.
His detached tone conceals how uncomfortable he is.
No, it's... I don't think so, Kim. Strange acoustics? Strange acoustics doesn't muffle even the loudest of noise in this way. This is something paranatural.
Please, detective, not this again.
He's trying to act dismissive, but at this particular moment, he's more open than usual to the idea of paranatural phenomena.
Yeah, a question I've been asking throughout this game, right? Because our character, my version of Harry here, is a big believer in the supernatural. A question I've asked is the supernatural actually real? Or is it just something we believe? Or is it real because we believe it, right? It can get a little fuzzy sometimes, especially in a game like this. This is seeming pretty strange to me. Maybe we'll get some confirmation. Let's look up into the bell tower.
The orderly rows of ceiling panels become barely visible, then disappear completely in the darkness of the tower overhead.
God. They're really not letting you change gear mid-convo. It's already pretty damn high. Screw it, let's go for the check. We just failed one of these, let's do it now. Nice. Whoa.
It's like there's something moving up there. A shadow has emerged from the tower and it's making its way toward you through all the other shadows.
I mean, I can't see anything, but we heard about something in here. Oh, this is kind of spooky, guys. I tried to shine my flashlight up there. On the ceiling?
Yes, the darkness makes the ceiling feel infinitely far away.
What the hell is going on? Follow the shadow's movements.
It's not a shadow anymore, becoming more substantial as it gets closer. The shape of an animal descends.
Officer, is there something up there?
There is, Kim. I have got oddly high perception.
Oh no, you've lost sight of it. Where did it go?
Kim, let me focus!
You see something hanging from the rafters, looking straight at you with dark eyes.
What the hell?
Maybe it's possible to talk to it.
I mean, it looks humanoid. It looks like a person. I mean, we heard about a crab man who was crawling along the ceiling. Could just be someone who's very talented at climbing. Oh, God. Oh, no. Something evil is going on here. Let's give it a shot. I mean, you know, confront it head on.
The shadow is a man made of the same stuff as the carpentry of the building. He is studying you intently. The crab man.
Yeah. So when she saw the crab man, she ran away. We're talking to him. Hey, who's there?
The man leaned forward a little, fixing you with a steady, unreadable gaze, then speaks.
Habitual alcohol use has made you into a scared little pussy, Holmes. But don't worry, everything's gonna be all right. You come to the right place.
Okay, thanks, man. Alright, I mean, this seems just like a guy. I mean, we're getting a very supernatural vibe, but this could be just a man, a strange man. The right place for what?
Here you can receive the mother's love. And when you're ready, she will take your hand and lift you out of the despair at the bottom of that bottle.
Man, what do you know about me?
This man is obviously a habitual narcotics user. Do we really need to question him?
Well, yeah, I think so.
I'm put off by this religious stuff, he thinks. And maybe the ceiling climbing, too.
Yeah.
It's all very hard to square with the lieutenant's own view of reality.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's exactly it. I'd say Kim has been very open-minded throughout the game, but this is sort of reaching the limits of his view of the world, right? Now, Kim has been open-minded, but we know he's a pretty skeptical, grounded type of person, right? We're sort of opposites in that sense of the word, and so this is getting right to the edge for him. If it goes any further, we may truly break his view of reality.
Hey, and what was that about, the bottle again? You haven't even drank that much lately. Lay off it already. Shish.
Yeah, true. Oh, hell no. No, I'm talking to him. Look, I'm a policeman. I need to talk to you about police things. I don't know anything about alcohol use.
Oh, yeah, sure. You don't know anything about alcohol use. You got it all under control, Way. I could smell the control all the way over here.
I'm doing just fine, thank you.
I know it's hard to admit that you got a problem. I was like you once. Couldn't take an honest look into my own heart and see I was in pain.
Look, we've got a problem. I shan't deny it, but we're recovering, and I don't know how any of this is gonna help.
You know, actually, since we're here, you may want to pay attention to what the ceiling climber is saying.
Okay.
If the lieutenant agrees, then maybe, just maybe, you should pay attention.
Fuck you, Crabman! You don't tell us what to do! Tell him!
That's funny. Who do you think you are? Some crazy guy under the roof? What is this shit?
It doesn't matter who I am, Way. I'm just bringing you the message of the mother's love. She don't want you to hang yourself on your own stubbornness.
It does matter though, cause you're gonna have to get the hell out of here.
This is the Church of the Mother of Silence. You are welcome here.
You have no idea what the fuck he's talking about. Is he just trying to throw you off your game?
I have no idea. Honestly, at this point, I don't know. I don't know if something genuinely supernatural is going on, or not. I can't tell. So you must be the crab man.
Never known myself to be a crab. But if that's the name you got for me, I won't stop you from using it.
To be fair, it's really more like a spider.
I always thought of myself more like a flame, flickering along the rafters and beams. It may be that I gotta work on my technique.
So what were you before you became a crab man?
I was in a gang, Way, but my memories of that time are fading. Most of them are already gone.
So many people losing their memory. A certain portent of doom.
Nah, Ese, it's not like that. Best thing that could happen to you, losing your memory.
I mean, it might be for us.
Do you remember your name, sir?
The lieutenant is not particularly interested in this information. He's just trying to assert some control over the conversation.
I'm interested in the information, but I'd also like to have some control here. I'm feeling a little out of control.
Tiago's my name, but those syllables don't mean much to me these days. A name isn't just your identity, but also, so to speak, your place amongst your fellows, your place in the world. I ain't got no use for such a place anymore.
I'm definitely gonna go for a handshake. I've taken every handshake that's been offered. Now it's my time. My name's Harry.
That's just the thing, Holmes. None of that matters.
Okay, rude. Didn't accept my handshake. So what are you doing here?
This is a special place. There's a perforation in the world up there. A way out into nothingness. This church was built around it for purposes of veneration. I circled it, nurtured by the silence bestowed by the mother. One of these days, I'll be pure enough to go drink from it directly.
Also, I should have... I was thinking it, I just didn't say anything about it. But the fact that he apparently lost his memory? I mean, I don't know. We lost our memory from a whole lot of hard drinking. But... maybe there's something more here? I really don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to believe. Who's this mother of silence she keep talking about?
Oh, that's no simple question, I said. She is one who can be painted or sculpted. She is a cavity in the dark beyond sense. She saved me, but I couldn't describe her to you. No one can, Holmes. And no one ever will.
Some sort of goddess of nothingness, of non-existent. It reminds me a little bit of the Pale, a concept that so fascinated me throughout this playthrough. What will happen once you drink from this perforation?
I will be incinerated, but not destroyed. Finally, I won with the state of the world before reality began.
That sounds a bit like substitution behavior, no? You know a thing or two about that.
You sure you didn't just switch one drug for another?
It's not like that at all, man. It's just faith and joyful service.
I was big and sensitive. Faith is a kind of drug.
I heard that before, Way. And I know I can't convince you on the spot. But think, when's the last time you woke up from silent communion with a hangover, regretting what you did last night?
There are drugs darker than alcohol circling your system.
Yeah, I mean, look, obviously, we haven't been doing well. Alcohol and drugs and all that. But what's going on here? I don't like it. And I think empathy might be right. I think love might have been my drug of choice, and I think I'm still hungover from it.
She took you for a good spin, huh? Don't worry, bro. That love is but a drop compared to the ocean of the mother's love. The mother will eat all of you and never spit you out.
Let's agree to disagree.
I know it will take time. Don't sweat it. I know it will take time.
Oh.
Don't sweat it.
Repeated. Brother, you... This is such a funny conversation. We started talking by you creeping around like a creature in the rafters, and you called me a pussy. Now, you're like, hey, don't worry, man. It'll take time. You'll come around. What is happening here? I don't really understand what you're doing in the church.
I'm a seraph, Holmes. I sing the mother's glory.
Doesn't really make sense for you to sing if she's the mother of silence.
I don't mean literal singing, Holmes. This is the mother of silence we're talking about. It's the singing of a burning heart.
Yeah, I can only take things entirely literally or entirely abstractly.
You may be thinking, but fire crackles. No, Holmes. That's the material that's burning. The flames themselves are without sound.
Interesting. How'd you even find this place, this church?
Hard to say. I think I did some construction work here, back when I still had material worries. Up there, I realized what the true purpose of the church was. Been spending a lot of time here ever since. The past is nothing to me now, Way. It didn't belong to me.
So, I think our options here are either this guy is high as a kite on all sorts of drugs, he's found this old church, he's creeping around. That's Kim's explanation, right? That is the skeptic's explanation of what's happening. The other side is that he was once a normal, or at least normal-ish kind of guy, found this church doing construction, spent more and more time here, and over time has been losing his memories, becoming less and less of a human person, and more of whatever he is now. Or maybe it's something in between, right? Maybe he is still sort of a normal human person, but there is something going on in his head. I really don't know. Like I said, I'm leaning towards a supernatural explanation, though my Inland Empire is very high, so that makes sense.
The sinewy figure lingers on the wooden beams, blending into the shadows.
I think this place would be maybe nicer as a nightclub. Though if this is sort of a church of the Mother of Silence, I don't know how well a nightclub would work. The music might be a bit of a challenge. You've been here a long time. Do you know why the church was abandoned?
Police raid a while back.
Did you witness it?
Not really. Or at least I don't remember much of it anymore. The mother's love has done its job. That's what's so great about the mother. It lets you forget about everything.
Okay, so you probably did and you don't remember it, because not really is not a real answer. Some ravers want to turn this place into a nightclub.
The ones in the tent outside, right? I see them. Guessing they're the ones who call me a crab. Probably scared of me.
I don't care about their business, but turning the church into a nightclub, I have to say, it's a great idea. You should support it.
Absolutely, man. Wouldn't bother me none to have them spin music in here. I'm usually way up there, imbibing.
Really?
Might even be nice to have some company.
He said that in spite of himself. He's more attached to the human than he'd like to think.
Huh. Interesting. Very interesting. So maybe he can be pulled back from the brink, I don't know. He seems pretty gone right now. I'm surprised that he was so amiable to the idea. But also, I don't know if they will really want to set up their nightclub with you creeping around in here, I gotta be honest. You are quite frightening. So do you know where the other spooker is?
Other spooker? Oh, esa viejita es muy estudiosa. Don't know, Holmes.
Viejita is Grandma?
Grandma Estudiosa. What is that, studious or something? I don't know. Wait, so there is another person living in the church, and it's Viejita?
No. I just call her viejita because of her clothes. She's actually quite young. Or maybe not that young. Age is just one of the many masks we wear.
Old woman wearing grandma clothes. Heard this before.
Wait, what if it's Ruby?
Well, that's what we thought last time it could be.
Did it ever seem to you like she was hiding here from something?
That's why, I mean, look, I was interested in this whole nightclub escapade from the beginning, but this is when it became somewhat pertinent to the case that this could be Ruby. Now, it could also not be. That's a very real possibility, but this could be intertwined.
You mean like a fugitive?
Glances at the abandoned radio computer on the other side of the nave.
No, man. Quite the opposite. I don't think she cared much about authority or anything else for that matter. Maybe only about her machines.
I see. And where is she now?
I told you, Holmes. I don't know.
Brother, how can you not know that when you both live here?
Don't really follow her comings and goings. Just see her typing on her computer now and then. We got different interests.
Very well could be Ruby. So you've got nothing else to tell me? How she looks, what she does, who is she?
I'm afraid not, Essay. You just have to wait until she comes back, or
search through her radio computer.
Not a bad idea. Okay, well, thanks then. Great, we got this creeper hanging around. Well, I guess we'll explore the rest of the church now. I wonder if I'm still not supposed to run. What's that up there? Scarf. Mesh banger silk scarf. Oh, I can't wear that. Sorry. It'd have to go on my neck. I can't wear that. Gotta keep my necktie on. My horrific necktie. I'm still not gonna run out of an abundance of caution. Because, like, this guy seems definitely more normal than I thought he'd be, obviously. But there's still this weird acoustic phenomenon that's happening. Okay, got some shoes over here, it looks like. What I want is a new pair of pants, honestly. My current ones are not doing a whole lot for me stat-wise. That's bangers, red brogues. Huh, we're getting the whole set. Let me see, how do they compare to my boots I've got on right now? +1 empathy in someone else's shoes, I like that. Dapper snakeskin shoes! Wow, these are like a different version of our original shoes. Oh. What do we want? Perception or empathy? I'll take perception. You know, I'm feeling in here that perception, is doing me some good. Alright, let's go back to the middle. We have some of the machinery, and then this opening, I suppose. Okay, reel-to-reel tapes. We got a whole radio computer setup. Armin Waushi tape recorder. Interesting. Siphoning electrical current from outside into this antenna. Let's take a look at this computer then. See if we can do something with it.
A machine stands in the corner, watched over by the figures on the stained glass window. It's turned on and quivering with soft electricity.
Another radio computer. And this time it's already turned on.
Yep.
These machines sometimes harbor traps, he thinks. Alarm systems and the like. Let's be careful.
Got it.
We should leave. I doubt this place bears any connection to the case.
I don't know. I think it might. What if it's rubies, man? It might have something to do with the case. Plus, this whole thing is so weird. Yeah, but this machine looks just like the one in the doomed commercial area.
It's also quite similar to the one we have down at the station. Must be the same model.
A quaint little box of radio waves.
Let me just investigate real quick.
You see fluorescent play and print buttons on the keyboard. A hatch connected to the central compartment is wide open. The lieutenant says nothing. You see the machine's glowing frame reflected back from his diamond-shaped glasses. You're free to proceed.
Look inside the compartment.
Behind the hatch sits a cube-like crisscross of filaments, smoldering in the dark like fireflies. Silver tape on the side says, in black marker, log, February to March. Another filament memory. Press play to talk with the repeater.
I gotta try it.
The speaker comes to life. Static seeps through the machine's planar magnetic driver. An old lady greets you. Her voice sounds 100 years old.
Good afternoon. Votre accident, Saint-Brune. This is the East Insulindian Repeater Station 1. Please repeat. Is this the personal log?
This old lady again. I remember her from earlier.
It's the same old woman you spoke with through the radio computer in the doomed commercial area.
Oh god. Fuck it. Yvonne, it's me again. How are you?
Good, thank you. Please repeat. Is this the personal log?
I looked inside the core, but the tape on the filament just said log February through March.
Good. Please repeat the password.
Why do these always have passwords?
Let's look around. There's no use trying to guess the answer.
Yeah, fair.
Maybe he knows something.
Is it my birthday?
No.
Oh. Alright, screw it. I'll come back later. I don't know it.
Received. I will register this login attempt.
Don't register it.
Fortress accident. Is there anything else I can do for you today?
Fortress accident, like the one in the doomed commercial area?
I have 2 machines registered to this company name in Martinez. One on Saint-Brune, the other on Rue de Saint-Ghislaine.
Only 2, huh?
Saint-Brune. That's the church.
Yep.
And Rue de Saint-Ghislaine? That's the doomed commercial area.
We found both of the radio computers in Martinez.
Anything else I can help you with?
Alright, well, I'm gonna try and find this password.
Goodbye, Fortress accident.
The machine's keyboard is still illuminated, revealing fluorescent play and print buttons.
Alright, let's go. Maybe we'll have to see what's out here first, but let's go talk to Tiago. Hey. His memory's shot, man. I was running there.
Oh, hey, wait. There's coffee in the back. Oh, wait. I meant the mother's love.
You are too normal, okay? You could be, I'm gonna pull you back from the brink. I don't know if that's gonna happen, but there's still a normal human there. Have you by any chance heard the Viejita say the password to her radio computer?
Too many times, Ese. You need it for something.
I don't know if we need to start threatening. Yeah, it's for a first-degree murder investigation in Martinez.
Don't sweat it, vato. The password is afterlife death.
That is true. But what comes after death?
Ugh.
What you think of that? Makes me almost pity La Nilita Pequeña when I hear it.
Yeah, maybe so. Alright, thanks, Tiago.
I think we're done here, Ese.
Oh, but, we're becoming buddies.
That was an interesting conversation.
Or he's gone now.
However, I'm still not sure whether we'll find our suspect here.
It's worth checking. I mean, I know we're on, sort of limited time, given the situation going on with Crenell and the workers and all that sort of thing, but it's definitely worth looking into, Kim. We're closing in on something big.
The machine's keyboard is still illuminated, revealing fluorescent play and print buttons. The speaker comes to life.
Yeah.
Good afternoon. Votre accident.
Yep.
Good. Please repeat the password.
Afterlife, death.
Good. I have unlocked the filament. After ending the call, please press print to access the filament. Votre accident. Is there anything else I can do for you today?
Alright.
Goodbye, votre accident.
The machine's keyboard is still illuminated, revealing fluorescent play and print buttons.
Alright, let's see this.
The printer prints out a long text document with dated paragraphs.
Ooh.
It looks a bit like someone's journal.
This is the good stuff. Let's read it.
The first entry, made on the 4th of February, 51, by an unknown author, is short and concise. Arrived at the church. The door was boarded up, so I used the crowbar to get inside. Looks like the place has been deserted. Nothing out of the ordinary, but I'll ask around. Need to figure out how to get the electricity in.
Okay.
The lieutenant leans closer, scouring the printout over your shoulder. Just as you finish reading, he looks up, muttering under his breath.
4th of February. That's over a month ago. Whoever set up those machines has been here for quite a while.
Okay. Thanks for the detail, because I was kind of like, how long ago was that? Over a month ago. Do you think, I think it might be. Do you think this log might be connected to the case?
Our case? No, I don't think so. It must be some local eccentric.
Yeah, but this is more than some local eccentricity. This place is strange, man. Let's read the second entry.
6th of February, 51. Had a little chat with the local fishermen. Said I shouldn't go near that place, that the church was spooky and ridden with narcotics. It's a little spooky, all right. Still haven't figured out the electricity. 7th of February, 51. Finally got the electricity in. Next on the agenda, a new antenna. I'm thinking ESCA series, something advanced.
So why would she need an antenna?
Why would anyone need any of this equipment here?
Yeah, you make a very good point. I have no idea what is being done here even.
8th of February, 51. Bought the antenna. Had some problems setting it up. Called Simo for help. Heard the others are back to making art. Drinking somewhere out of town. Sulislav started a rock band again. Lexi has been seen asking money from strangers.
Okay, wait a minute. We've got a whole crew here. Called Simo for help. The others are back to making art. Drinking somewhere out of town. Sulislav, Lexi. This just sounds like a group of young artists or something like that.
But at least the artists have their act together. They're qualified labor. They can get work anywhere. Graphic design, ads. The programmers are doing fine too. I mean, they're programmers. The writers, though, they're fucked.
Okay.
I just have to find out what caused that data loss and be done with it. Still don't understand how it managed to wipe out the backup, when the backup wasn't even connected to the front. I know. Everyone thinks it's impossible. They say I must be lying. I'm here to set it right.
I feel like I'm missing a lot of context here. This is not... I mean, I obviously literally understand what's being said, but I'm not getting a lot from this. A data loss?
Seems like something to do with radio computers. Unfortunately, I don't know enough about them to understand what the author is saying.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat, Kim. What caused the data loss? How did it wipe out the backup when the backup wasn't connected to the front? Everyone thinks it's impossible. They think I'm lying. Some sort of loss of data. I don't know what.
Something about the backup data getting destroyed, and how everyone thought it was the author's fault. Let's just keep reading.
Artists, programmers, Lexi, who are all these people?
I think these people worked in the radio computer games business. The one we saw in the Doom commercial area. They must be our former co-workers.
Oh, so this might be connected to that. Right. Talking about artists, programmers, writers, right? All the people you'd need to work on a game. So maybe she lost some data for their game. People thought it was her fault. She wants to get it back. Yeah, this might not be related to the case. I'm now realizing. Let's see.
12th of February, 51. Brought some food from the grocery store. Apparently, there's a strike going on in the harbor. Definitely not happy to see the Martinez people again. Everything's now set up in the church. Going to start working tomorrow, 8 a.m.
Okay. I'm thinking this is definitely not Ruby at this point.
The strike. We are nearing the date of the murder.
Oh yeah, maybe we'll get some useful information. Strike has started.
Keep reading. I'm interested now. I want to know what's that radio anomaly that sent this person here in the first place.
Hey, okay, Kim. I knew you'd get invested. You know, Kim, and fair enough, he always tries to keep us on track. You know, let's do something that's related to the case. But when we get into our side mysteries, Kim cannot help but be curious.
25th of February, 51. I've been sending data up to Lintel for a while now, trying to recreate the data loss, but nothing. Didn't even feel like logging in, the disappointment. But I did discover a curious audio-spatial anomaly at the back of the church. I've named it the Swallow. It swallows sound. Need to get some mics.
Wait a minute. There was something about a swallow. Oh, this is related to the Pale. Oh my god. Dude, when I heard swallow... So Motorway South, which was... We got this from... We kept asking about the Pale. We got this thought about sort of what extends into the Pale, the Motorway South. Right? So it stretches beyond for an unimaginable distance until there's nothing left. No vector. A blank space. All that remains is the motion of a human throat swallowing. And then to reach the end of the Motorway South is to be unborn. I think maybe that's what Tiago's going through. Maybe not like well, I mean, he's in the one place, but he's losing his memories. He's being unborn. He'll become part of whatever this is. All that's left is this swallowing. Oh, man. This is... Oh, dude. I knew... Every time I hear about the Pale, I investigate. And for good reason. There's something going on here.
Is she talking about?
Yep.
28th of February, 51. Yes, the first recordings confirm that the Swallow is real, and I'm not just losing my mind. It's a pillar of silence, with a diameter of approximately 3 meters. Seems like the higher I go, the less I record. This might be a coincidence, or it could be connected to the data loss that led me here.
I mean, I think it's Pale related.
The pillar of silence. She is talking about the silence. Is she suggesting it's more than just an architectural quirk?
Yes, because it is more than that. But what could it be?
The lieutenant doesn't answer. He follows your gaze, studying the basins. The water shines in them. No ripples. March 51. Some kind of young disco men have appeared next to the church. I've been trying to record the silence to find the epicenter, but now it turns out I've also been capturing the future of dance music, one neo-disco song over and over again. Fortunately, the song is so monotonous, I was able to devise an algorithm to factor it out. The other day, one of the disco men came in. Before I could even say hello, she got scared and left. Good, I don't want anyone distracting me from my work.
I like that she calls them disco men. Doesn't seem like she's hostile necessarily. I mean, she wants to be left alone, but before I could even say hello, doesn't sound incredibly hostile to me. She hasn't mentioned Tiago yet, though he's obviously aware of her.
That disco man must be a cell.
Exactly. Well, she must be describing a cell.
The girl on the ice? Sounds like her, yes.
March 51. I got a call from the repeater station. Someone has tried to access the radio computer in our office in Martinez. Can't do anything about it. The storekeeper still doesn't want to let me inside the building. Thinks I'm part of some kind of curse. How Martinez of her.
Oh, this is so good. So this is us. Wow, I love seeing our past actions brought back into the story here. She's like, what the hell? Someone's looked at our radio computer in the old office. Oh, man. That was me. I was the one who broke into that radio computer, and the storekeeper must be Plaisance?
I knew it wasn't a good idea to meddle with that machine.
Well, we're meddling with this one too, Kim.
March 51. A new 2-meter aux cable. Noodles. Crackers. Ping energy drinks. Water. Toothpaste. Gum. Also, some canned air.
I mean, we're in it now.
Your reading is interrupted by the sound of the church door opening.
Oh, caught in the act.
A strange woman makes straight for the radio computer.
Uh-oh. Well, here we are. Hello?
Breaking into my radio computer, I see.
Yeah.
I do apologize for the intrusion, madame. We are with the RCM, you see.
I mean, we'll use the excuse of the investigation, but I really break into anything I see. We're looking for a suspect in a murder investigation. We thought they might be hiding here.
No one's hiding here.
Well, she didn't seem very concerned.
It's just me and my computer, and it has been this way for weeks. Now please give me some room. I need 2 seconds to see that you haven't destroyed anything.
We should talk to her after she has rebooted the machine.
Okay, well, it's not Ruby, and I think this is significantly less connected to the investigation than I thought it might have been. But, still something here. So do we have to wait for her, or...?
What is it?
I didn't break anything, did I?
No, you just printed out my personal log and wasted some paper.
Hey, are you the lead programmer of Whirl Untethered by any chance?
Yes. Or, no. Not anymore. That project is dead.
She doesn't seem surprised to be recognized. Rather sad. Something passes over her face before she straightens her back.
Sorry, but who are you? What are you doing here?
I am Soona Kilde, the former lead programmer of Fortress Accident and RSA radios. I have over 16 years of programming experience, and I'm proficient in both Vox and Orbis languages.
Very Scandinavian name. Soona Kilde.
If you're not here to hire me, I don't really know how I can help you.
Well, I've got some questions for you. Have you seen the Crab Man?
Nope.
But you know he's around?
Yes.
He's seen you.
And?
The Grabman's seen you.
I don't care. I don't care about Grabmen.
Okay, we're at very different levels, I'd say. Have you seen anyone suspicious, say a woman named Ruby?
What? No. No one's suspicious around here.
You're pretty suspicious, frankly.
She has not seen her, sire. 'Tis true.
So why are there so many machines in this place?
I brought them here. These are my machines. Please don't touch anything.
Why do you need an antenna?
I use the AR1 as my RAIN Prefect's processing unit.
I don't understand.
RAIN Prefect is my radio computer.
And that antenna is its processing unit?
Yes? You really don't know anything about radio computers, do you?
I mean, not really.
Alright. Well, all radio computers perform operations up on air. So in order to gain more processing power, you need to invest in a good antenna.
This is very curious. What's on air?
On the front, the unified front of radio waves, licensed and controlled by Lintel in the East Insulindic region.
Okay, so what, we're talking about sort of cloud processing, cloud computing, but with radio waves.
It's all around us. That's what on air means.
Like love.
At this point, well, I guess I want to know what you're doing here. Something about a data loss, and then I want to hear about this audio phenomenon that you've discovered. In the AR1, is it a good antenna?
I guess it is. So far, I've been quite satisfied with it. Martinez is an unstable region with bad coverage, and the operation has been surprisingly stable. But it's not the cheapest one on the market, so I wouldn't recommend it for your regular red tape operations. Fraser 1000 is a foolproof line for civilians. Anyway, you should do some research before you decide to buy anything. Ask around, compare the prices. There are many milieus dedicated to that sort of thing.
I'm not a customer.
She liked telling me this. It calmed her nerves.
Okay, so what are you doing with your radio computer?
I'm working.
Very descriptive.
The machine seems almost alien with its pulsing core. The light casting her face in a strange shadow.
Working on what?
Could you just shh for a moment? Or get to the point. I really need to focus on something.
It's not just rudeness. It really is hard to concentrate on whatever she needs to do. And you're not helping.
Okay. What about those bowls of water over there?
They are connected to my RAIN Prefect. Whatever you do, just please don't move them, okay? Thanks.
This is so strange because, you know, I was really... Something supernatural I was sure was happening. And I still am, but now it's more confusing. Because you've got this woman in here working on radio computer technology. Now that's weird, but it's not, like, supernatural necessarily. But the whole thing with the sound and Tiago and all that is still very strange to me.
Short and terse. There you have it. Whatever she's using them for, they're hers.
Okay.
Great.
So what are you doing in an abandoned church?
You really like those questions, don't you?
I mean, I'm a police officer. It's my job to ask questions.
I'm conducting scientific research here. You can't throw me out.
What research?
I'm looking for the location of a 2mm hole in the world.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Sorry, yeah, what?
She's looking for a disruption in the radio waves. That's what her personal log said.
Okay.
The lieutenant raises his brows, but doesn't say anything.
Is the hole connected to the data loss in your journal?
Yes, that's what led me here. But I suspect it might be something a bit more complicated than that.
A hole in the world. What does that mean exactly?
Exactly. What does it mean? Up to now, it has been impossible to say what it is because it's impossible to measure nothing.
Okay, it's getting a little supernatural again. Or maybe supernatural isn't even the right word. It's getting more pale, you know? There's something strange going on.
What do you think it is? What qualities does nothing have? How do you measure something that does not exist?
Well, I don't know, but these are the types of questions I was asking or thinking when we talked to Joyce about the Pale. When we talked to that Pale driver, you know? All these types of questions about, so what is this? Is it literal? Is it abstract? Is it metaphorical? You know, what is it? How do you interact with it? Can you interact with it? How do you measure it? Like, all these types of things.
That's a little above your pay grade at the moment.
God damn it. I can't even understand how we're talking about something that doesn't exist, let alone measure it.
You measure it by its surroundings, by that which does exist, which is what I've been trying to do. I've tried using hydro transducers to record the silence, to find out where it begins. But honestly, it's not progressing very well.
Yeah. She grows silent, staring at her circle of basins. It looks like some ancient ritual. Yeah, that's exactly what it looks like. It looks... yeah.
But does it have anything to do with necroplasmic life forms? Ghosts, in everyday parlance.
Great, let's ask this question. Does it have anything to do with ghosts?
Ghosts? No, I don't think so. I don't believe in ghosts.
What about other supernatural entities?
I don't believe in them either.
What? What not many know is, necroplasma exists.
Great. What are we talking about? And why?
Okay. But that's what I'm saying. We're getting... Clearly, she's more of a skeptical science type. But you're interfacing with a strange phenomenon that... I guess, you know, there are a lot of phenomenons that we encounter throughout history that may seem sort of magical or supernatural, you know, when we don't understand them. But when we do understand them, suddenly that label disappears, which is why I'm saying I don't even know if supernatural is the right term, or paranatural, or whatever. It's a little abstract, you know. Once we begin to understand it, well, it comes into the scientific world. Well, here's the explanation. So there could be an explanation for all of this. Doesn't mean it ain't weird, though. So, do you have any idea where this hole might be located?
Somewhere underneath those roof beams, I assume.
Only a faint crisscross of rafters can be made out from the dark, most of the tower disappearing into the shade. Strange things may flourish in the dark.
Yeah, like Tiago. Why there?
There's this place at the back of the church, a place where all audible vibrations seem to decease. I've named it the Swallow, and the higher you go, the less you record.
I'm telling you, I know the Pale hasn't been mentioned. Maybe this is a coincidence, but I don't think so. This has got to be connected. The use of the swallow as a metaphor and a label, these have got to be connected on a sort of fundamental level. That's what I think. Maybe I'm wrong, but, you know, I don't know.
The Pillar of Silence? Are you sure it's not just an architectural quirk?
Maybe, but it's oddly close to the physical coordinates of the data loss that led me to this place.
So we have to go upwards, I guess. This is where the Crabman lives.
I know.
I don't think he's responsible, but I think he was... I mean, that Pillar of Silence is why he's here. You don't think the Crabman might be responsible?
No, I don't.
She sounds mildly annoyed by this line of questioning, her hands typing hundreds of commands into the machine.
You said that the research isn't going well. Why not?
Because it's just trial and error, trying to locate the Swallow, the exact point in space.
Right, but you're looking for a, what'd you say, 2mm hole in the world? That's a small hole. So, I mean, you're right. You're sort of, I guess, trial and error.
And I don't have a... You know what? It would be really helpful if you could just stop talking and let me work.
Okay. Well, that's all I wanted to know about the scary 2mm hole in the world for now.
Great. Thanks.
Oh, interesting. We can go back to it. That means there's more to discover. How do you feel about hypnotic dance music?
What? I hate it.
Well, you're not gonna like what I have to tell you.
I bet she hasn't even heard it.
Have you even listened to it? Like, actually listened?
Yeah. Like all the time. My tent neighbors don't really ease up with their partying, do they? Maybe I'd have to be on drugs to get it, but to a sober mind it just sounds like uninspired rug whipping. No idea what it has to do with either dancing or music.
Yeah, she's probably only a fan of classical music. Right, right. But how do you feel about a club for erotic dance music?
This is about those speed freaks in the tent, isn't it? I've got some news for you. It's not a nightclub they want to build here.
I'm aware, but fine, tell me. What do they want to build then?
Take a guess, why don't you?
A youth center, a petting zoo, a community space. I heard they're also planning on building a drug lab.
Bingo! That's exactly what they're up to.
I know, but, I don't like the drug lab, but I like the club.
Ah, wonderful. Now this house of worship is also going to be a drug lab. Always something fascinating happening in tents.
They're just encouraging an active youth culture. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, what I said before. Not possible to appreciate that kind of music without being high as a kite.
Look, I don't condemn recreational drug use. They can do whatever they want. I just don't want them making a drug lab, That's a little too far for me.
So that's settled. Great. No nightclubs in the church then.
Yeah. Let's see what Andre thinks about this. Wonder if we can... I think I can take my flashlight off, by the way. Just put my chain cutters back in my hand, just in case there's something to chain cut. Right, so the pillar is right here. I wonder if...
Yes?
No. You know me, I'm always checking for a unique Kim dialogue. So can we go upwards? Or is that not a possibility? Oh, is that Tear? Hello. Yoinkies. Thank you very much. Oh, I can't see anything again. Yeah, I'm not sure there's a way up from down here. Does this just lead outside? Let's take a look.
In white, silver, and apricot faience, the young mother
Oh, wow.
of humanism stands above you. A crack runs across her body. She is impossibly tall, oval-faced and sad. A dark and radiant majesty.
Look at that. That's quite an image, eh?
This is Her Innocence, Dolores Dei.
Right. Yeah, we've heard a little bit about Dolores Dei. Both in religion and politics, I do believe.
Cradled in her arms are a pair of glowing lungs, clearly visible from underneath her flowing dress. You should kneel.
I should kneel? I should kneel. I'm gonna kneel. And you know what? Let me tell you why. If I was staring at a stained glass window of some religious type, I would not feel the need to kneel, and thus I would not kneel. But if I was standing before something and felt the desire to kneel, I'd kneel. I mean, I don't think I'd feel that way, but fuck it.
Your knees touch the floor. The floorboards are hard and cold. There you kneel among the snowdrifts, diffuse light falling on your hands from beyond the glass.
Close my eyes. We're entering into prayer, I think.
The world is silent, but for the creaks and cracks of the massive wooden structure behind you, it covers you from the wind outside. The ocean feels distant, its ebb and flow blocked off by the centuries-old pinewood sarcophagus around you. In the darkness, you sense her eyes on you, inspecting you with their multicolored glass, as if you're a bug under a microscope. The woman looks down at you kneeling. She towers among her followers, architects, laymen, courtiers. There is a sad smile on her lips and a glint in her green-blue eye of what? Compassion? Remorse?
I think I need some compassion. She's got like her lungs highlighted there. Is it her lungs in particular? Yeah, I think it is. Strange. Strange.
She acknowledges the passing of someone who is still alive. You.
What? She acknowledges the passing of someone who's still alive. Us. Sounds like mourning. She acknowledges the passing of someone who's still alive? That sounds like mourning to me.
As that terrible word passes through your mind, the lieutenant draws an X-shaped cross from shoulder to shoulder. Your fingertips touch your chest 4 times. Then you rise from your knees into the apricot-colored light of the window. Above you, the woman still smiles her distant smile, sundered by the crack in the glass.
This is Dolores Dei.
The old woman in the village was right. This must be the Delorean Church of Humanity in Martinez, or the Small Pinewood Church in some records.
So Kim's a little religious. He's perhaps a DeLorean. And there's some sort of connection between the religious aspect and the political movement of moralism, right? That was very much related to her. And we know Kim, at least in the past, has had some association of that. You knew of this place, Kim?
It's a minor landmark, not easy to find. Most maps misplace it. It was built not long after Revachol's founding, 300 or so years ago, by first-generation settlers.
Yeah, it's quite a nice church. What else do you know?
There used to be 7 stave churches on the coast.
Right.
Les Setsa, they call them. The 7 Sisters. Only one remains. The rest were burnt in the revolution or used for building materials. We should be respectful here, although the building appears to be deserted. I do not believe we'll find the instigator here. Something else, perhaps?
Respectful? Is the lieutenant a follower of DeLoreanism?
That's the vibe I'm getting.
A pang of guilt. The lieutenant is leaving something out.
Well, I don't want to push, but it's a fair question. You know why it was abandoned?
I have a theory, yes. There was a police raid a while back. I heard the place was shot to pieces.
That's the pang of guilt.
The old woman in the village was being tactful with us when she didn't mention it. She has more respect for the RCM than many around here.
Oh, interesting. Who conducted this raid?
Well, your station was involved, I hear.
Uh-oh.
Although I can't be sure.
Uh-oh.
How come the lieutenant isn't sure? Is this confidential information?
You're not sure?
3 precincts were involved in the raid, and people say Precinct 41 was one of them.
I don't remember being here, but that doesn't mean much.
I am pretty sure it was a clandestine operation. I don't know anything more about it, why it was conducted, or who participated. I try not to pry into extra-district matters.
Great. Great. I guess I could have been here. Who knows? If I was here, which I don't know, I should find out what I was doing.
Good luck. You will not get information on a confidential operation from your station secretary just by calling. If you really don't remember, it might be better to keep this one forgotten.
Damn.
It happened a while ago. It's unimportant to our business in Martinez now.
Kim, are you a follower of DeLoreanism?
Yes, we all are. Her name, body, and rule are synonymous with humanism. The laws we enforce are DeLorean in origin.
We all are, eh? Spoken like a true man of faith. I didn't think you were spiritual.
It's not spiritual, it's constitutional. The DeLorean system does not demand faith, only accordance.
Interesting. Yeah, so it's a combination religion, ideology, political movement type deal. And I guess you can, and there are some movements like that in real life, so you can take different things out of it, right? So Kim doesn't seem like an incredibly spiritual individual, but he sort of believes in the values. Like he says, the laws we enforce are DeLorean in origin. He's also picked up some of the symbolism, right? Making the, what is it, an X with your hand? Well, whatever it was. Can I boost my visual calculus or encyclopedia? Did I pick something up? Let me see. I think my encyclopedia's... Hey, there we go. Let's put on some lame glasses. Nope. Oh, yep, that helps. Look at that. The visual calculus is going way up. And we've got some skill points as well, because they were white
The
checks.
mother of humanism stands above you, a precious and complex wax painting on a single pane of glass. A crack runs across the length of her body, her face oval and sad.
Not bad, eh? Encyclopedia, 3 actually, not that great. And the visual calculus is 5 right now with all of our boosts. So let's try, how did I know this is the mother of humanism?
It's a mystery.
Fail.
A mystery sprinkled with self-pity and regret. For some reason, unknown to your mind, looking at her delicate eyes makes you feel like you're ready for drowning.
Okay, I don't want to spend all my skill points here, but this has something to do with me, so I want to find out.
All you know is,
Ow.
this is the young mother of humanity, and that you should go. Do something else.
Oh.
Escape her sad, worry-worn look.
Alright, let's try. Come on, let's try the visual calculus check.
A jigsaw of broken shards
Nice.
falls into place in front of you. A ghostly reconstruction of the stained glass window. Before it was shattered, there was an older woman beneath the younger one. And a text. A light motif below them both.
Huh. Sorry to, lean into the camera, but I'm squinting at my own screen here. Yeah, I do see that. Okay, interesting. What shattered this mosaic?
Unknown.
Oh, great.
Something during the raid the lieutenant mentioned. Or just hooligans looking for something to break.
Get a better look at this older woman down below. I don't know who this is supposed to be. Yeah, who's this older woman?
The escutcheon on her throne says, Irene the Navigator. She is depicted as an older woman wearing thick-rimmed eyeglasses, holding a golden rights apfel in one hand and a scepter in the other. This is the Queen Her Innocence Day advised. Above, she herself is whole.
That makes sense. So we have the ruling monarch sitting below with Dolores Dei and her sort of grand spiritual figure standing above. Very large, of course. I wonder how this religion sort of emerged, right? You know, Dolores Dei was a real person who, I don't know if she started sort of a political movement or if it formed afterwards. What we know is she's a real person who is a real sort of political, potentially religious figure, and either after or during her lifetime, this sort of movement, both religious and political, forms around her, and she's deified, essentially. After her death, if not during, I don't know.
Small figures of wise men, common men, worshippers walk up the stairs to stand at her feet. Secret servicemen, farriers, stand in a row guarding her. It must have taken years to produce this work in all its dizzying detail.
The motto, what does it say?
Below both women, in luminous black letters, Après la vie, mort. Après la mort, la vie de nouveau.
Oh man, what is that? After life, death? After death, new life?
And then, along the left side, Après le monde, la gré. Après le gré, Le Monde Nouveau.
What's that? After the world? I don't know what this means. After that, a new world. How about that? Oh, interesting. Is this where she got the password from? Oh. I wonder if we'd investigated this first, if we could have tried that as the password. Lieutenant, this used to say afterlife, death, after...
Death, life again. After the world, the pale. After the pale, the world again.
Oh, there you go. I didn't know what it meant. The pale. Oh. Oh. Oh, I love this. It's all tied in with the pale. I knew it. There's something to do with the pale here. And I did not know that this DeLorean ideology is also tied up with the pale. After life, death. After death, life again. After the world, the pale shall consume the world, and after the pale, the world again. That's the important part, right? Because we sort of know that the pale is expanding, right? Slowly, seems like it'll take over everything, create nothingness, perhaps. But then here, at least part of this belief system, after the pale, the world again. Oh. Or the new world or something.
This exaltation is common in DeLorean sacralism. In the early years, it was even incorporated as the RCM slogan.
Huh.
No more, however.
Wow. It's very interesting. Why?
It was deemed subservient to use a strongly moral intern-related motto. We already suspected of bootlicking. The sentence was also seen as too feminine. It was a macho thing.
I mean, that last part's kind of dumb. I understand that you don't want to be seen as too subservient to the moral intern, right? We know DeLoreanism, this religious and political ideology, moralism, this liberal type ideology that runs the world at this point, the global international order. So what's the RCM motto now?
Justice, union, prudence, and force.
Fucking hell. Jesus Christ. What is the... Look, the game gives you lots of options. You can be a total dickhead if you want to be. I won't be. Justice, union, prudence, and force. I mean, honestly, I like the other one better.
So do I.
It might be a little too sort of religious for the police force, but I prefer it to our current motto. Wow.
The mother of humanism towers above you. A wax painting on a cracked pane of glass. Nothing has changed in her expression.
Yeah, let's put a point into encyclopedia. Just want to put my regular clothes back on, however. The thing is, they give you a lot of good jackets. I like the empathy hand-eye coordination combo, but I really like the Esprit de Corps shivers combo. That's quite useful, in fact. Alright, encyclopedia. There you go, you've gotten yourself another point. Oh, what checks do we have now? I think some of these aren't relevant anymore, like the bard, or where was that? I don't remember. They've got a lot of checks we could retry. Hey, the ice cream maker. Oh yeah. Okay, I need to focus up. But there are a lot of checks we gotta go back and do. There's a lot of... I've tried to be thorough as I've played, but just, I think by the nature of the game, I've racked up a lot of loose ends as we've gone.
The mother of humanism stands above you, a precious and complex wax painting. Despite the damage you've done to yourself, the title appears lodged in your hippocampus. This is Her Innocence, Dolores Dei. The innocence of humanism, internationalism, and the welfare state. Perhaps the most famous human being ever to have lived.
I'm just having a lot of thoughts at the moment right now. First of all, we've seen her title, Her Innocence. Interesting title, right? All capitalized. The innocence of humanism, internationalism, and the welfare state. And then looking at that, I have been talking about how it's this political ideology. I'm just thinking, I should be shattering this glass. I'm like a hardened communist. I should hate this ideology. But I'm interested, you know? I had that thought. I was like, oh, yo, this really clashes with my character's stated political ideology. But I also think that, I mean, obviously, I don't exactly understand the exact, like, form of communism, Mazovian communism that was done in this game, but I know what communism is, you know? It's something in our real world. But DeLoreanism, I mean, maybe it's got some parallels to certain real-world ideologies, but this is something that is entirely new. There's a lot that I'd like to uncover. I find myself very curious about this whole thing.
No amount of Commodore Red can wipe her sad smile from your brain thing. It has survived the deluge and haunts you still, and will haunt you forever, as it haunts all men.
Do we must have some history, because there's been a couple of hints throughout the dialogue here that we feel a particular kind of way. There's got to be something to do with DeLoreanism or Dolores Dei in our past, I'm thinking. What exactly is an innocence? I've heard of the system.
The highest category of historic individual, an embodiment of the world spirit.
A ruler?
More, an innocence is elected to office by the founding party, a precedent that has taken place a mere 6 times in the entirety of history. The legal system of the Real Belt is built to accommodate an authentic rule should it coincide with our time.
What? So this is an office that one can take, a position. An innocence is elected to office by the founding party, huh? A precedent that has taken place a mere 6 times in the entirety of history. Though it sounds like Dolores Dei here is sort of the one and only innocence. The legal system of the Real Belt is built to accommodate an eccentric rule should it coincide with our time. This is a very strange quirk for an otherwise sort of liberal, market-based government. Well, some of which are perhaps more democratic. Of course, our system isn't, but it seems like basically the sort of ruling states of the current international order are essentially capitalist liberal democracies. So this is curious.
An innocence is infallible. The decisions made by one are not decisions. They are inevitabilities. What would have happened anyway? Only accelerated, packed into decades instead of centuries. An innocence is a continuous, compressed event, a sacred human being. It is an honor and a glory to live when one is in office.
Yeah, this is very much in contrast with other things we've learned about the world. This is, once again, a combination of a political and seems more religious position. I mean, this is like the Pope, right? If you're a Catholic, you know, an infallible individual. Huh. Is one in office now? I doubt it.
No, we are alone.
Okay, when did she rule?
300 years ago, in the wake of the discovery of this Isola, the Insulindian, by explorers from the continent of Muindi. She is, among other things, the innocence of inter-isolary travel and the connected world.
I mean, I can sort of imagine why she's, I can imagine why she's such a monumental figure, though to become such a monumental religious figure in 300 years is crazy. But I suppose this great religious, spiritual, political leader who was seen as infallible, who sort of ruled over this period of discovery and exploration and expansion, and whose ideology is currently the bedrock for the international global order, clearly, I think they said the most well-known person in the world. What else do I know about her?
Many things. You know she was a woman of the court, the wife of an influential Marchese, and eventually the principal advisor to Irene La Navigateur, Queen of Suresnes, modern-day Sir La Clé. Also, that she was gorgeous beyond beauty.
I mean, there's a lot of parallels to the real world here, in that we have, I don't even remember. What is it? Spanish or Portuguese? Henry the Navigator or something like that. We have a couple of kings from this type of era, a couple hundred years ago, and European history that were associated with navigation and exploration. We're kind of getting the parallel here with Irene, right? Irene the Navigator. Right? She was this great queen of exploration and navigation. And Dolores Dei was a woman of the court and the principal advisor to the queen. I'm just wondering like, how did such a cult form around her? And a personality cult, I guess I don't necessarily mean cult as in like a cult, but like such a cult around her ideas and her herself.
Draped in ancient sadness. Are you sure you want to remember this bit of historic trivia? Standing under a long, slender form like this, dwarfed?
Yes! Big bummer! Boring history! Gotta keep it light, man! Keep it moving! Get fucked up instead!
Y'all are really worried about me investigating here. Where's this coming from?
The past. It's a silo of sadness, fermenting. You should keep away.
This is tied up with our sad past.
Fuck this pain, Bratan! It's unhealthy!
But I want to learn about it. I'm sure I'm gonna probably take another hit to my volition.
No, you must know.
I agree with conceptualization. What else? Was she smart?
Terribly. Women of the court were expected to play both contract bridge and chess sufficiently well to prove an interesting challenge to a man. A simple grasp in matters of philosophy, theology, and science was encouraged. She was, by all means, a kept woman. She made the most of her position in the antediluvian court, a court visited by the most prominent thinkers and artists of the day. In secret, she was becoming the era's preeminent philosopher of the state, a scalpel, a piercing gaze. She was an almost preternaturally magnetic and intelligent individual. To her contemporaries, she appeared out of time, a messenger from the future of the species. We all fell in love with her, head over heels. Even before she was declared an innocence, her influence was tremendous.
Jesus. Quite a glowing description, I have to say. How come?
It was on her advice that Irene Le Navigateur sponsored a number of voyages into the Pale. A costly, often tragic endeavor, ultimately vindicated by the discovery of the new world, the piece of reality you're standing on.
Right, so once again, I sort of gave the roundup earlier, but you can see why these figures are so well remembered. I mean, you can think about, in our own world, the figure of Columbus. Now, first of all, Columbus was a bad guy. I acknowledge that. He's very controversial today, but you can't deny that his has been a very well-known name, right, since his voyage to the Americas. He's been a pretty large looming figure in the history of the world, particularly throughout the Americas, right? So, once again, he's not a good guy. I'm not saying that. But you can sort of imagine that, but then, you know, because when you think about that era of exploration, Columbus is the number one name you're going to think of. So then think about another era of exploration like we're talking about here, but someone else who really pushed for that, but was also incredibly intelligent and magnetic and, you know, all these types of things, right? All that comes together to make someone who was truly influential and remembered and became this monumental figure.
She was crowned 2 years after the first expedition returned, setting in motion what is widely considered the greatest era in history, the DeLorean era.
Plus, you know, not to say that exploration across the Atlantic wasn't impressive, but compare that to exploration through the Pale. This is on a whole new level, right? I don't care. You know, the thing is, as we know, any retelling of history always comes with a bias, or particular perspective. So this reads to me like a sort of mainstream, you know, sort of pro-institutional retelling of the history, right? One that paints all of this in a very positive manner. I imagine if you talk to some dissidents within Revachol, you talk to maybe some of these hardcore commies, or even some people of other political persuasions, they may have a different version of history, right? But I'll give it a wow. It certainly sounds impressive.
Wow, indeed. When Her Innocence was declared, and the queen she had advised for years fell on her knees before her, she was so overcome with emotion that her lungs started glowing in her chest.
Yeah, I noticed that earlier.
Bystanders reported golden filaments lighting the already sunlit chamber around her, clearly visible beneath her dress.
I wonder if Kim believes all of this, or if because like he said, he's not incredibly spiritual, if he'd say, no, this didn't happen, he's just a believer in the ideology.
That is why the lungs are the symbol of love for the cultures of the Riel Belt.
Rather than the heart, which is what we use today. I'm trying to think, have we seen lung-based imagery throughout the game? I feel like I may have seen it somewhere, but maybe not. Yeah, maybe not. I don't know. The lungs are just a very particular symbol. I guess the heart is too when you really think about it. More?
As did we all. The lands of the Mess and the Occident, and even far away Supreme Windy. Altogether, 21 of the 40 Mundial nations of the time immediately accepted Innocentic rule, even before her crowning.
So, I mean, this is like a genuine religious figure. Her crowning?
In a city called Advesperaskit, in Vesper Messina, her homeland, the name of the city means evening comes, but it happened on a winter's morning, with the canals frozen and slush falling out of the sky. She was dressed in a white and pearl dress, on an emptied-out plaza, with the crowd far away. Already, her Theriers, the secret servicemen of the Innocents, were worried about an assassination attempt.
Why? That sounds like she was this Jesus type. Well, I guess Jesus was killed. What am I saying? I was gonna say sounds like a sort of Jesus type figure. But more than that, sounds like the whole world loved her. The whole world didn't love Jesus. A few people loved him. Man got executed. It sounds like a lot more than that. But there must have been detractors if they were worried about an assassination attempt. So this is hurting my feelings for some reason. She must have been beautiful.
Oh yes, she looked like humanity's young mother, a perfect mother, insultingly beautiful. It was as if her face and shoulders and hands were covered in a soft down of underfeathers. You know this well, very well.
No, do I? Also, I've got the sunlight, setting as I record this. You can see the light of Dolores Dei shining down upon me.
Midwinter snow was beating the cobblestones around her. A small attaché of officials stood by as her Theriers placed a white gold wreath on her head. The crowning was mostly witnessed by Secret Servicemen.
Then what?
One of the men in this Secret Service killed her 22 years later. A young man who had come to suspect that Dolores Dei was not entirely human, but something else.
But it sounds like she was something else. One of the men in this service killed her 22 years later. That's a pretty good run. What?
Something that had walked in our midst, watching us stumble for hundreds, if not thousands of years, until it decided to interfere in the course of our history. We were supposed to come up with this ourselves. The man was reported to have screamed at the Innocents.
Yeah, so he thought she was some type of god or higher being intervening in our history. I mean, this description we got of her certainly sounds like it, which is why I'm sort of like, I wonder how embellished this is. Because she's literally been depicted as a supernatural, spiritual, religious goddess type figure.
Dolores Dei was shot in the chest with a fowling piece 8 times. The man, thought to be insane, said he once touched her and her body had been unnaturally warm, like a furnace, and that sometimes, while on duty, he observed her forgetting to breathe for over 10 minutes.
I will say, the only way to make her even more of a monumental figure is to give her a tragic ending, to make her a martyr, which is what was done here. If it wasn't already cemented, this man made sure she would be remembered as essentially a goddess.
This inhuman quality was witnessed by many others as well, glowing lungs and all. It is commonly attributed to mass hysteria and religious psychology.
Okay. Okay. Maybe. But there does seem to be something about her. I don't know. Was there something terrifying about her?
Terrifying is a term too emotionally charged for your semantic memory, or what remains of it.
Now, what is my connection to this?
Terrifying. It's a simple word. She was bad for humanity, and you shouldn't have started thinking about her.
I never heed any warnings. No, there was something bad about her. I want to know.
You already do. Although she's often considered to be the greatest human being to ever live, there was something ominous about Dolores Dei, constantly surrounded by her terriers. She was the most socially secluded and least self-aware of all the Innocences. Some modern thinkers would consider her a war criminal for the campaigns she waged against the Mesk state. And then there were the resettlement programs.
Okay, so it seems like a pretty major thing to leave out. She has literally been portrayed as an infallible Jesus-type figure who was also like a politician and a philosopher. Now I'm hearing about potential war criminal and resettlement programs. Okay, so this is when, you first pick up like what is it, like the people's version of history, Howard Zinn, and you're like, wait a minute, you're telling me all of this was bad? What happened?
The Mesk state tried to detach itself from Innocentic rule. Parts of the world were experiencing whiplash from accelerating into secularism. Her mandatory education programs and mass resettlement of upstream Marguerite were problematic as well. Dissenters were suppressed by a military force she called the Army of Humanity.
Uh-oh, that didn't sound good.
Suggesting those who fight against it are not part of humanity. She adored chess, yes, but also military war games. Dolores Dei often holds a tiny tin soldier between her index finger and thumb in icons such as this. She was also blonde, the blondest woman you have ever seen, with green eyes the color of the Pacentic, mare interregnum.
See, this is why this is a very confusing, sort of complex figure to me. Like, imagine if Jesus was Jesus, but also ruled the world and commanded a grand military. That wouldn't make any sense. Then he wouldn't be Jesus. You know what I mean? When you have this infallible figure, if they also do all this other stuff, well, they're no longer infallible, are they? They're getting, doing these things. I don't know. This is very strange.
Little is known of her Marchese husband. It's as if he vanished from history after completing his role, which was to introduce Dolores Dei to court. In conclusion, yes, there is something lonely, paranoid, and even terrifying that people seldom mention, but feel when they think of her.
Well, I'll tell you this much. I'm definitely not a DeLorean, but I'm very interested in DeLoreanism and Dolores Dei, especially given that there seems to be some connection between her or my past and the ideology, or whatever it is. So I do not subscribe to this ideology, really any part of it, but I'm fascinated.
This subtle terror is part of her iconography.
Lieutenant Yefreighter, you've stood there for over 5 minutes.
Oh, sorry.
What are you thinking of, if I may ask?
I don't think Kim will like that. But this is what I'm saying. Like, if you asked a hardcore Mazovian communist about this is probably what they'd say. She was a bourgeois war criminal and she should have been shot sooner. I don't know if she's connected to the case, but she's connected to me. She's not human.
Okay. This church, the coast in general, we shouldn't linger here. This isn't a good place to get lost in. We should conclude our business and move on.
Dude, I'm telling you, I think Kim has still retained his sort of skeptical ideology, vision of the world, perspective, but the coast in general, we shouldn't linger here. This isn't a good place to get lost in. He's feeling the oppressive nature of some of the things we've seen today. Well, with that, I'm gonna end this episode here, standing in front of this stained glass window. This was a really interesting one. We talked to... Well, first we entered the church. We're very spooked, worried about something supernatural. We talked to Tiago, who I still don't have a complete grasp on. Investigated this computer. Thought it might be related to the case. It's probably not. You know, talked to our radio computer technician here. What was her name? Soona? Soona. And then learned a little bit about Dolores Dei, which has answered some of my questions, but has also raised more questions. So, you know, I've got a lot to think about, as I always do, and I think a lot more to find out. But yeah, another episode of Disco Elysium. Y'all know I always really enjoy playing Disco Elysium. If you've enjoyed the videos, I'd appreciate it if you leave a like, subscribe, you know, all that good stuff. Recently got access to channel memberships and super thanks, so you can use either of those to support the channel if you so desire. Like I said, we're on episode 20 now, so pretty deep into the series. It feels good that we've been doing the series, having a good time with it. I've been having a great time. So thank you, everybody, for following along. Now, with all that, I hope you guys are having a great day today, and I'll see you all again next time. Goodbye.